Hi friends! Today I'm going to share with you what I think is the very best paper for hand lettering that is still inexpensive. It's not a fancy marker paper or watercolor paper. It is still copy paper that goes through your printer, but it is a little better quality than the typical copy paper you might buy, and it's going to help your lettering a lot. So I will put a picture of this in this video, and this isn't a sponsored post. I paid for this myself. I bought it on Amazon. And I think it was about $10 for a 500 pack, so it really isn't very expensive at all, but it made a huge difference in my lettering. So let me share with you a little side-by-side comparison. This paper on the right here is my old copy paper that I just pulled out of the printer, and the one on the left is the new paper. And this is just called HP Premium Choice Laserjet paper, and it's really smooth compared to this one. And you probably can't tell, but this one is a lot more coarse, and this one is just really, really smooth. So the whole reason that I bought a different type of paper is I had been using this one for a long time, and then I bought this Dr. Martens Radiant Concentrated Watercolors, and I've heard really great things about these, and I really wanted to try them because I love watercolor lettering. But when I got them and started using them, I was really disappointed because they bled all over. And I tried a bunch of different techniques. I tried different brushes. I tried like a cardstock. I tried just a better paper. And it was still bleeding everywhere. And I know that the whole selling point of these watercolors is that they have like really bold, bright colors. But I was finding that the only way I could get it to not bleed is if I was doing like a ton of water and then it wasn't bold looking at all. So if I wanted like any pigment to my lettering, I was getting the bleed marks. So let me just show you a comparison on this one, and hopefully you'll be able to see how smooth it goes on. So even if I have a lot of ink in my brush, it's still not bleeding. Before with this other one, if I would have had a stroke like that where you see all that water, this would have been all over. I don't even know if the other paper will let me get a stroke like that. So I painted another thicker stroke here just to see the difference. I don't know if you can tell that that's drying right now. But it's definitely, I mean, you can see even without the bleeding, you can just see the comparison. I did this with the same technique, the same ink, the same brush, and this one just looks like, it almost looks like a marker, and this one definitely looks more like watercolors. So this really changed my watercolor lettering. I even did try watercolor paper with these, and it just had the same effect. Here, let me show you. It's gotten a little bit more dry. So as you can see, it has bled everywhere. So for watercolor lettering, the HP Premium Choice Laserjet paper is definitely the winner. Now I'm also going to show you the difference that it made for my brush lettering. I was using this with my Tombow brush pens, which I know is a huge no-no, and it definitely frayed the tips of my pens. So let me just show you what this looks like. I honestly didn't even really love brush lettering with a marker until I found this other paper, because I just found that it didn't look as nice, and it doesn't really feel as nice writing on this paper either. But if we go over here, it is just so much smoother. So as you can see, the lettering is just a lot clearer. As you can also maybe see, I don't know if you can tell that I've got some brush strokes here from my frayed brush from using this paper. So I definitely would not recommend using any kind of brush pen that you don't want to ruin on cheap copy paper unless you want to have to replace them frequently. So this is a marker that is new, so it'll still work well. And it's really just smoother, and you can just really have a lot more control and and the end result is a lot cleaner. So I definitely think it's worth it to purchase this one. And the last thing I'm going to show you is this Pentel sign pen. These also, I really had a hard time with them bleeding. And I really like these pens, the size of them. But whenever I would do lettering, I hated to do like an up close picture of it because it totally bled all over. So let me just show you. If you can see that, especially around the end, it's definitely bleeding into my paper. And that is just on the regular copy paper. But if I use the new paper, I have like no bleeding at all. And it's interesting because I actually had a brush pen that I thought was dry, and then I used it on good paper and it was perfect. So if you got a brush pen and you thought it would change your lettering, and when you tried it you thought, I wonder why everyone likes this, maybe it's your paper. So let's look close up to this one. And there's absolutely no bleeding. Some of the changes here are just my brush strokes, but it's not bled into the paper like this one has. So side by side you can see here that this one looks a lot nicer than this one. So that is it for my comparison. I just wanted to show you the differences so that if you are wondering if you should purchase a different type of paper or if it'd be worth it, that I definitely think it is worth it. If you have made it this far, it would be super helpful if you would just answer a question that I have, which is, what is the thing that you struggle with the most with hand lettering? I'm working on some freebies for my web, and I just want to make sure that those freebies are things that would be the most helpful for you. So let me know, what is the thing that you struggle the most or the question that you have the most about hand lettering, and leave it in the comments below. I know I've mentioned it before, but I get most of my video ideas from questions that you have asked in the comments or on Instagram or messages, so I really appreciate it. And it really helps me realize what I'm not even touching on or what I might not even realize that is a question for people. So please leave that in the comments below. What is the biggest thing that you're struggling with your hand lettering today? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You can find me on Instagram at howtohandletter and on Facebook at howtohandletter. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.